Well, hello and welcome to the Zone. I'm your host, Big Wave Dave. So today we're going to start our amazing design series. Over the next 3 sessions, we're going to look at some incredible creatures that God made. Are you ready? Let's get started. Question: what do this drill, this car, and this teddy bear all have in common? Do you give up? Well, they were all designed and made by somebody really smart. So what about the things that we see around us, living things, like trees and plants and animals? What about those? I mean, after all, they're even more complicated. Who made them? Glad you asked. The Bible tells us God did it. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth and everything in it. And the Bible also tells us that God did all of that in just 6 days. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Okay, so the Bible says that. But is there any evidence that God created it? There is. When you look at all the living creatures around us, you discover amazing design. Obviously, somebody really smart designed and made them. Let's take a closer look. Let's talk about tigers. Tigers are so cool. When were they created? Well, the Bible tells us they were created on day 6. How do I know that? Because that's when God created the land animals. Tigers are the largest cats on earth. They can grow up to 670 pounds. That's huge. Wow, I bet you they eat a lot. You know, what's cool is that each tiger is unique on their stripes. No 2 tigers look exactly alike. And did you know that tigers can run up to 40 miles per hour? That's fast. In fact, that's almost twice as fast as the fastest person can run. Now, my favorite fact about tigers is this: they can swim and they love to play in water. When you look at tigers, you see amazing design. Okay, so I want to teach you a principle here. When you see something really complicated, what do you know? Somebody made that. Now, who made the tigers? God did. Let's look at another creature. This guy is called the chambered Nautilus, and he's got the nickname God's submarine. So when were they created? Nautilus was created on day 5 because that's when God created the sea creatures. Nautilus are hunters, and what they do is they use their tentacles to detect the smell of food. Now when they find the food, they use their sharp, beak-like mouths to eat it, and they eat things like crabs and fish and lobsters. So where did this guy get the nickname God's submarine? Well, it has to do with his shell. You see, when the Nautilus is floating around and he wants to go higher, what he'll do is he'll empty the water out of his shell, which makes him lighter so he floats higher. If he wants to dive deep, he actually fills that shell with water, which makes him heavier, and down he goes. Now when he wants to move, he squirts out that water like a little water jet. Pretty cool, huh? So what's interesting is we studied this design that God made, this little creature, and we used it for something today: submarines. Now I think it's interesting how, we look at something like the Nautilus and come up with ideas that we can use. By the way, that happens all the time. If you see something really complicated, what do you know? Somebody made that. Now, who made the Nautilus? Well, God did. Let's look at one final creature: dolphins. So when were dolphins created? Dolphins, like the Nautilus, were created on day 5 when God created the sea creatures. Here's some interesting facts about dolphins. First of all, they are really fast. They can swim up to 25 miles per hour. Another thing that's amazing about dolphins is that they are very smart and they can be trained to do all kinds of things. If you ever get a chance to see a dolphin show, do it. They are so fun to watch. Dolphins are very social creatures. They like to hang out together in groups that scientists call pods. Fish, they breathe in the water, right? Not dolphins. They actually breathe air through what's called blowholes. Now, God gave the dolphins the ability to be able to hold their breath for a long time so that they can hunt for food, up to 15 minutes. That's amazing. My favorite feature about dolphins is this. God gave them a very special system to find food. Here's how it works. So the dolphin will send out sound waves, and when that sound wave bounces off of a fish, the dolphin locks on and says, "Lunch is served." You remember the chambered Nautilus? Do you remember how we used that design for submarines? Guess what? We did the same thing for the dolphin. We studied the dolphin's echolocation system and used it to create something called sonar. Today, submarines use sonar to help them navigate the oceans. So once again, we took God's idea, his design, and used it for our own purposes. If you see something really complicated, what do you know? Somebody made that. And who made the dolphins? God did. Sadly, some people don't believe that. They think that everything kind of created itself. Why is that? What's the problem? Well, it's not the evidence, for the Bible tells us that when we look around at everything that has been created, it points to God. You see, some people have never been taught about God. They just don't know. While other people have decided that they don't want to believe in God, or they think that science has disproven the Bible and there is no God. It hasn't, by the way. So what can we do? Well, we can be kind, and we can share what we've learned, and we can pray for them. Okay, let's wrap up with this. Remember, if you see something really complicated, you know that somebody really smart made it. Remember that God made everything in just 6 days. Also, keep in mind that some people just don't want to believe in God. So again, be kind and pray for them. But here's your homework assignment. The next time you go outside, look around at everything God created and thank him. Well, that's all the time we have together. I'm Big Wave Dave, and I hope to see you soon on the Zone. God bless you.